Y'all ready? Oh. Am I live on Instagram? Good morning, Facebook, YouTube. I don't know that I'm live. Somebody on Instagram, share with everyone. I'm gonna have to start Instagram over. Hang on. You have to post that on on the QT page. Okay, hold on one second. Live Bible study. Cancel. Okay. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the QT Bible study with Steve Levitt, class of 1984. That's right. I am at the courthouse in Vega, Texas, Oldham County, for the live Bible study today. And I have some folks with me. And I'm going to turn Instagram around. You guys didn't want to be on camera, but too bad. TikTok. So this is what I see every morning. There's Mr. Robbie Kirkland, his mama, Melanie, and my sweet kissing cousin, Keela Laurie, right there. How about that? And y'all say hi to Facebook real quick so they can see you guys.
Hey, crew.
Hey, that's him. Keela, Melanie, Robbie. All right. This is Vega. Can y'all see the water tower back here? The Vega. Keela, did you ever climb the water tower?
Only once.
Robbie? Melanie? No? I think I did once. That's the new one, right? There was an old water tower. Can y'all see? And are we? Yeah, we're good. All right. Well, we're gonna flip around. I'll give you guys a quick. There's part of the courthouse over here. There's the gazebo. I don't know what I'm doing, by the way. We had massive rainstorms this morning. Robbie's already been at the feedlot this morning, he said. Was Perry up at 3 at the feed yard? No way. Oh. Well, Shannon was with the beef. He came back over. You know, we tied the beef yesterday, and they started turning it, and they'd missed some poles, and the beef was falling off the poles. So Shannon came back over, helped the Spinherns get it all back on right, and then they ended up street dance last night. You guys were up dancing last night. Robbie, did you go to the street dance? Yeah, there was a street dance by the beef turning over there. So it's six beefs that they put together. We tied them all up yesterday and put them on coals, and they cooked all night long, right? They cooked them till this morning, probably just now taking them off.
Yeah, they'll pull them off about 10, 11.
Oh, okay. And bring them right up here, and they carve them right up here, right?
I'll be carving.
You'll be carving? Yeah, Shannon got that one too. Yeah, we'll have to. I'll try to take some video and show you guys the meat table. There's Papa Nick. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Dad didn't show up. He said I'll show up on Instagram. That's all right. Well, we are in Romans chapter 1. All right. I'm looking at all you guys now. Any questions? Y'all got any questions for Keela, Melanie, or Robbie this morning? Anybody? Martha, what did you say that was hilarious? I missed it. Robbie Kirkland, we need a cap like Steve's. Oh, Martha's won the hat. There you go. Is it chilly there? Anybody see the temperature this morning? 62 degrees and wet. And we're out of the wind on this side of the courthouse, but it was coming pretty good out of the south this morning. Any other questions before we get started? Oh, I was going to ask where Papa Nick was. Yeah, he picked me up from the airport, but I guarantee you he's in his underwear sitting in his house watching this. There's Wendy Chris. Wendy didn't come. Wendy talked like she might come. Come on, Wendy. we'll see her at the reunion. Keela and I graduated together, so we'll have our 1984 graduation from VHS. Woohoo! Go Longhorns! What was that? Go Longhorns! Yeah, yeah. And we even got a parade, right? Yeah, we'll have a trailer that we're on the parade. Yeah, not like you don't have anything to do today, right, Kim? Aren't you doing the paint run or whatever too?
No color run today this year.
Okay. Well,
You're gonna watch your nephew eat a bunch of pie.
yeah, my nephew Tyler's in the pie eating contest at 1:30 today. They'll have is this the bingo table? We'll have bingo over here and the what do you throw the bags? The
Cornhole.
cornhole contest.
Yes.
Oh man. That's Roundup. Y'all see the sign behind me? That is Oldham County Roundup. We did go fishing last night. Me and Ryan and Tyler and all the boys went fishing. Brady caught a big old catfish. Yeah, it was pretty fun. All right, let's get going. We're in Romans chapter 1. What verse are we on? 18? No, we did 18. Did we do 18 yesterday? We didn't, did we? Rebelled against ungodliness. Yeah, we did. Somebody help me out. Where did we end yesterday? Righteousness. I think we're in verse 18 Saturday. Yep. We're going to start in verse 18. Good morning, Priscilla. I'm glad you joined in. Sarah wants to move to Vegas. She's ready to move to Vegas. Yeah. Well, you guys have been behind a few of the houses. There's plenty of housing here, right? All right. All right, verse 18, Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against the ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifested in them, for God has shown it to them. All right, I'm trying to sort this out as we go along here, what it's trying to say. You know, we've been looking at this idea that Paul is all about the gospel. He wants people to know Jesus Christ. And this is a world where this was Rome, right? I mean, they were heathens, super big heathens. Is this some more Bible study, folks? Who is that? How you guys doing? Tell us who you are. Grumpy. No way. You weren't on Instagram. Hi, Grumps. Hey, you're gonna meet everybody right here. Say hi, everybody. This is Instagram. Where are you from, Grumpy? How did you find us? Random. No way. You guys came over. Say hi to Grumpy. How about that? Yeah, y'all can sit right up here. Take a little break. That's all right. And what is your name? Paula. Grumpy and what's your real name? Troy. Troy and Paula from Dimmitt. Just decided to show up and hang out with us. Yeah, you're great. All right, we're going to keep going. Paul his whole point is he's talking about, let's go back in verse 18, read it again. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against, what is the wrath of God against? The wrath of God is not against you and I, right? It's not even against the unbeliever. Like people will say, well, God hates this, and your God is judgmental, and your God is this and that. God's not against humanity. He is for humanity, but he's against what? Ungodliness and unrighteousness. This is the classic statement of that God hates sin, but he loves the sinner. And that's what our world misses. Our world doesn't understand. They want to just blame God and tell God, you're a judgmental God. You mean he would send some people to hell? he set it up where if you choose that, he will allow that to happen. Yes, because he hates unrighteousness and ungodliness, but he loves the sinner. He loves you and I we sin, but he loves us, but he will not tolerate sin. We have to, people think it's like the whole world of certain lifestyles where you have to love me by condoning my lifestyle. If you love me, you will embrace me. I saw that look. I know there's some thought going on there, right? I mean, that's what God does. He says, I'm going to love you all day long. You're welcome in my world all day long. I will embrace you all day long, but I will not let your sin into my kingdom. I won't let your sin cannot enter heaven. God says, I got to fix that somehow. I got to fix this idea. How am I going to fix getting you into heaven with me and leaving your sin outside of the heaven gates? How am I going to do that? What's the solution? Jesus Christ. I'm going to send a payment. I'm going to send righteousness to overcome your unrighteousness through Jesus Christ. And that's the gospel. That's Romans. So the very first line is there, the wrath of God is revealed against ungodliness and unrighteousness, of whom men who suppress the truth and unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifested in them for God has shown it to them. Keela has put up with me my whole life not being able to read. Am I right, Keela? She's sitting there hurting for me right now. She's, Keela's my cousin. We were buddies all through, but she took care of me all through school. She would rescue me as I couldn't read in third grade, or whatever. Oh, hold on. There we go. We're back. Here's the point that he's trying to say. Humanity, all of humanity lives in unrighteousness. And Paul and God is offering to you and I wisdom and knowledge of how to overcome that unrighteousness, how to end up in heaven. And what he's saying here is that humans tend to suppress that. Our flesh suppresses that, pushes that away. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to accept this gift, God, that you're offering me of Jesus Christ that will overcome your unrighteousness, allow you to into heaven. Now, here's the coolest part. I love this is one of my favorite things to talk about with people who love to debate atheism, everything, creation versus evolution. Here it is, creation versus evolution. Look at this verse, the second half of verse 19. It says, God's invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Does anybody have a different translation there?
They're obvious.
Yeah, obvious. The things of God, which means God, is obvious. Hey, you atheist who says we evolved from a single cell amoeba. Hey, you atheist that says this was an accident. These trees, those mountains, the ocean, it was all just accident. Paul addresses the naysayer here, and he says the invisible attributes are clearly seen. Invisible attributes would be what? What are some more invisible attributes which are obvious? What else would you say? I would say watch a newborn baby, right? Watch a child being born, and they come out and they open their eyes and they cry, and tell me that was an accident. For me to get up and walk over to my car, that my legs do what my brain tells that's not an accident. Yes, anatomy. Man, just look around you and the invisible attributes are clearly seen. This is why I say I don't believe there's true atheists. TikTok, all you atheists out there, I don't believe you. You may believe you, but I don't believe you. There are no atheists. This says everyone knows. Down deep in your soul, down deep if you would truly have intellectual honesty with yourself, you know there is a God. We all know there is a God. And he goes on to say, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Meaning that someone who says there is no God, I'm sorry, but you are without excuse. You know, we all know it is within you to look around you, to use your common sense, and to know there is a God. I think it's interesting that Paul puts this right in the beginning of Romans. He establishes this baseline. He says, all right, I'm fixing to share Jesus Christ with you guys. And just so we're clear, Grumpy, right? Just so we're clear, you know there is a God. You know there is a God. You know there is a God. So let's get that out of the way before we talk about Jesus Christ, right? I think it's beautiful that Paul puts it in the beginning and says, just so we're clear, we all know. How many people come to Roundup? How many would we think? Couple of thousand folks. Everyone that's going to be here today, running around, seeing each other, everyone knows there is a God. Many of those may say, I don't believe. I don't think there is a God, right? Everybody knows there is. Any thoughts by you guys on that? Anybody have any experiences with anybody that says, I don't believe in God? Well, I just love that Paul starts the process of the gospel. He's going to go into who Jesus Christ was, the righteousness of Christ, the righteousness imputed on you and I through Jesus Christ. He starts with, just so we're clear, humanity, you know there is a God. It's obvious. Your text says obvious. I just had this memory, by the way. Sorry, total squirrel. That building right there, Justice of the Peace building, Keela, you're going to appreciate this. I'm in Sipapoo, New Mexico, Texas. I am a game warden magnet, all right? If I'm fishing or hunting, the game warden's going to come find me and check me. If I'm not doing it legally, I was in the middle of a pheasant field, walked 2 miles on the other side of the field to try to get away. I didn't have a license pheasant hunting. The game warden walks across 2 miles of field and tickets me across the field for pheasant hunting without a license in high school. So I'm in Sipapoo, Kenny and I, my Uncle Kenny, and I'm fishing. I'd bought a 3-day license, and it was the 4th day. And Kenny says, nah, it's no big deal. You'll be fine. You're going to go fish for a couple hours, and we're headed back to Vega, right? Game warden shows up. In the middle of Sipapoo. Nobody goes to Sipapoo. There's not even a game warden around there. Game warden shows up. Right, I'm 16, writes me a ticket for fishing without a license in New Mexico, Texas. Well, they transfer it to Vega to handle that. I've got to clear it up here. Who was the lady that used to work in that building? You remember? That's it, Virginia Kennedy. And she sat down and she lectured my butt in that building right there in a chair about fishing without a license and how I have to, and they dismissed it and it went away. But I just looked up and looked at that building. That reminded me of that whole incident. Welcome to Vega, Texas, I guess. I could tell you game warden story. I was fishing a month ago on a new boat that I just put together, that old bass boat. I put it together. 100 boats on the lake. We'd been there 2 or 3 hours, and I'm trolling back to the dock. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this boat headed my way. Game warden. On Lake Calaveras in the middle of nowhere. He hadn't looked at no other boat in the whole place, and he's headed to me Why? Because my daughter was sitting in the front bass chair in the front of the boat as I was moving along. I wasn't going fast, but he saw her sitting up there, which is, you're not supposed to have somebody sitting in the bass seat in the front of the boat, and come finds me. And I wasn't completely legal in the boat either, by the way. I hadn't got it transferred totally to my name yet. The person gave it to me. I had to take 2 months of paperwork to finally get it all in my name. And he asked me, he goes, you got this? And I said, here's my fire extinguisher. Here's my life. We all had life vests, and all that was legal, whistle, but it wasn't completely transferred to my name. And apparently he asked me the question, boat's all in your name and everything else, right? And I'm saying yes, life jackets, yes. And he asked me that, and I just said yes. And I really said it before I intentionally lied. I just kept nodding, going, yeah. And he just went on about it. But if I don't know what he had done. Does anybody know the law on that? Anyway, I got away with it. He goes, hey, I just want to let you know she doesn't need to be in the front of the boat. Move on. What does that have to do with anything that we're doing right here? Other than I'm always in nature, and that's where the game wardens are, and God created nature. All right. I digress. Anybody else? There's Shandy. Say hi to Shandy Russell, my niece. Everybody say hi to Shandy. Papa Nick. All right. And Wendy. All right. Hey, Mark. Good morning. All right. Let's finish this up. Verse 21. We still doing Bible study, or are we just hanging out? Oh, okay. Romans chapter 1, verse 21. Because although they knew God, here is humanity who says, I'm an atheist. I don't believe you. I'm telling you, TikTok, I don't believe you. Paul says, because although those who say they're an atheist, those who say there is no God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful. That's interesting. One, these non-believers, these deniers of God, two things. He says they didn't glorify him, but they also said they weren't thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. That's interesting. You don't glorify me. Moreover, you're not thankful for me. I think that's interesting that Paul says that, hey, non-believer, no, it's not just enough for you to say you're not a Christian, but isn't it obvious that you should be thankful to the creator of the universe for this creation around you? Somewhere in their hearts, they're supposed to be thankful. The natural, I think Paul's saying, the natural outpouring of your heart should be to look around you, to see God's creation, and to be thankful for it. Christian, are you thankful for it? Are you guys thankful for who God is, for his creation? I think I miss that sometimes. I don't always choose to be thankful. I don't know. What are some of the natural things? Oh, Dane just texted me. He's 2 miles up a 14er. He's climbing a 14,000-foot mountain this morning. He says, I'm 2 miles up. And he texts me to tell me that. Attaboy, Dane. I think I'm going back to this thankfulness, right? What do you guys think about the whole your walk with God and thankfulness? Do you have any thoughts on that? Are you naturally thankful? Yeah, I try to be.
Wake up every morning. I mean, just things we take for granted every day that we just.
Yeah. Yeah. The relationships we have. Huh.
I think we go through life and we get busy and we go, sometimes we don't stop long enough to just say,
and even for the freedom to be able to do this.
Sit right here, and some dude from Dimmitt that found me on Instagram, right? shows up in Vega, Texas. I am grateful for that, and that we get to fellowship and hang out. I love it. Ryan says, my nephew Ryan Levitt says, Keela's the queen of thankful. Right. Well, Keela is, and I think Melanie and Robbie probably fit in this category too. People who are grateful, people who are appreciative of what God's done. Robbie, I think you're onto something though. The whole idea or the concept of gratefulness. Am I grateful for my life? For the next breath I breathe. That is a choice that God made to give that to me. So many things in life, definitely think we fall short of being grateful. Here's the counselor side of me. As I counsel folks who struggle with emotional distress, a lot of times depression, anxiety, different things, there's pretty often a commonality in that there's a lack of gratefulness, and that's chemicals and things like that where they don't feel grateful. But I'm not so much saying shame on them. I'm saying one of the solutions to our emotional distress is learning to be grateful. There's something about training your brain to believe or think in grateful ways that lifts our spirit, that lifts our heart. Learn to be grateful and thankful. Train yourself, make yourself live in the world of gratefulness rather than the world of, oh no, and what if, yes, but, what can I complain about? What am I worried about? What am I stressed about? Let's just live in the world of gratefulness, which lifts our spirit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think perfect. Life's going to happen. Things are going to, trials, tribulation, things are going to happen. If we focus on that puts us in a better spot. That's what it's saying. If we, like I said,
yes,
and those are going to be there, but we have to try to put ourselves in a mindset of gratefulness of what is not trials and tribulation, and that, like you said, that moves us to that to take that next step forward.
Yep.
Even no matter how small, there's something positive in every situation.
Always. You can always look for the positive. It's a choice. Now, I do think some of us come by it naturally. Keela and I have always been that way. Melanie, I know you and Robbie both are. You just kind of, it's natural. Anybody that knows Keela is going to go, man, she is a big drink of water, right? She's always smiling, always joyful, right? You've known Keela your whole life. And I think it's a choice of joy. We choose joy. Some people that's harder. It's always come natural to me too. I've just always felt that way. And some people it doesn't come natural. Some people it's hard. Your chemicals, your trauma from childhood, your hardships makes you feel less joyful. But I think Paul makes a point here that let me just read it again, verse 21. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him in God. They were not thankful. They were not thankful of the things that God had made, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. And that's what I think what happens. When there is not, Robbie, that's what you were saying. When you're not thankful, you'll gravitate towards a darkened heart. And the darker it is, the harder it is to see the light. Harder it is to see Jesus. The harder it is to see God's creation, the darker it is. We have to choose to move towards light. Verse 22, again, he's still talking about them. Professing to be wise, they became fools. And this is where the world is going today, right? All these people who think they're so smart. Look at me. I've got it figured out. I've got life. You Christians are fools. You foolish people. What are you doing here on the steps of the courthouse in Vega, Texas, doing a Bible study? Idiots. You guys look like you're weird. Right? We can go political on that if we want to. Right? It says they became fools. Thinking they were wise made them foolish. They showed their foolishness. They showed their ignorance in this idea of thinking they were wise, yet they were fools. And they changed the glory of the incorruptible God into the image of corruptible man. This is what happens. This thing that God has made called humanity, they've changed it into being about themselves rather than God, basically. They've worshiped the creation rather than the creator. And this is what they've done, whether it be worshiping your wife or animals or trees or creation. The best they can do, because I just don't think humanity can get away from worship. Every human worships. Every atheist worships. Every agnostic worships. Every Christian worships. The question is, what do you worship? And if you got no God, then the best you got is to create. You end up worshiping his creation. And I'm like, man, why eat something bland whenever there's a steak dinner waiting for you right here, right? You're eating, you're tasting, you're living junior high whenever you got PhD level graduation meat over here. They're worshiping man rather than God, the incorruptible God, and the birds and four-footed animals and creepy things. It says they worship animals right there. Man, I don't, Paul is laying it out there. He's going, come on, quit worshiping creation. Quit worshiping man. Quit worshiping your wife, your husband. Quit living life in worship to these things that fall so short of the incorruptible God. And all that leads to a darkened place where we can choose to worship God where there is light. So Paul's laying a great foundation because he's fixing to throw the gospel in there. He's kind of setting them up. Then he's going to go, boom, here's the gospel. All right, let me close this in prayer right quick, and then we can answer any questions. Maybe y'all have some questions for the Panhandle folks up here. The rednecks from Vega, Texas, and Dimmitt, Texas. Let me close this in prayer. Lord, thank you for our time this morning to get to worship and hear the gospel again. Lord, thank you for your creation, for these birds we hear, these trees we see. Lord, the rain, the clouds, a thunderstorm this morning. What a great creation that one was, God. How beautiful it is that you show your glory in a lightning bolt and the cloud. We thank you for that. I pray that people would be willing to see you through your creation, not just your creation. That we would worship you, because we all worship. Lord, help us to worship you and not the things that you created. Thank you for loving us. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right. I know y'all don't want to be on camera, but we're going to say hi to everybody one more time. Let me turn this one around. There we go. There's Grumpy.
Smiling grumpy.
Smiling Grumpy. That's right. I know.
And I know he's not really.
So you guys say hi one more time so we can see everybody. This is the crew and the tower behind Vega, Texas, the tower back there. You guys got any questions for me, for anybody here? I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Turn this one back around. There we go. Definitely appears to be great time over yonder. Delby says, yes, it is. Christy says, glad to see you guys. Heather, I'm not even going to repeat that one. Heather. That's funny. TikTok, surely you can come up with something for me here. There's Mike in Indiana up there. Farmer Mike from Indiana. Paula and Troy are new. They joined TikTok today. Glad you guys are here. That's awesome. Good morning, Vega peeps. Debbie Day is saying good morning. She has to go to a funeral today, or I think she might have been here, or maybe she's just camera shy. Thanks, Debbie, for showing up. Any other questions? Had Jamie Johnson, Seth's wife. Jamie John, are you hiking with Dane, Jamie? I bet you are. I think it's Seth and Dane hiking. No, Jamie's pregnant. That's right. She's not hiking. I bet she's not hiking. They're glad to put a face with the name to all you guys. So that's awesome. Jamie says, no, exclamation mark. But she would be. Jamie's a hiker. She'll go. Too pregnant for that. Yep. We're serving the family today. Funeral was yesterday, Debbie says. Okay, Debbie. Gotcha. All right, Shannon, you have a great weekend also. Travis, Mike's son, Travis says hi. They're the ones, the Travis Burkhart Foundation. Mike developed that. Son was in an accident. And they have the Travis Burkhart Foundation up in Indiana. Travis says hi. Hey, Travis. Good to see you, brother. All right. I think we're done. Time to get roundup on. Get our roundup on. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep on keeping on. Thank you guys for joining. How fun is this? Our little fellowships. We're still working on Hope Shines Bible Church. We'll see if we end up making this into a church someday up in South Texas. Call it Hope Shines Bible Church. Everybody's asking for a church down there. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we prayed, Joe. We prayed a minute ago. All right. TikTok, you're first. Love you guys. See you tomorrow from the airport in Dallas, Texas. Rain or shine, baby. We're doing it. Yeah. So we'll do my layover in Dallas is just the right time frame where I can do Bible study from there. So I leave Amarillo at 6 tomorrow morning on a plane, and then I'll lay over in Dallas and do it. All right. TikTok, you're next. Love you guys. Keep on keeping on. 616 viewers on TikTok today. You guys are famous now. All right. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Love you guys. Keita, did you get a picture of everybody? We'll post it on the QT page. All right. Bye. Facebook, YouTube.